still not registered in my mind. Because after graduating from NTU, the only image that I had was I want to be a highly paid consultant. And Dick and his colleague Larry Philbrook, the first time when I was sharing my career aspiration with Larry, and I said, Larry, when I grow up, I want to be a consultant. And then the question Larry asked me back is, what do you want to be consulting for? And then I was like, I don't have answers. The only image that I have is a corner office with a lot, glass and very nice seat. So that was the only image that I had. So I had no idea if I were to become, a highly paid consultant, what I should be doing, exactly the typical work day. So I had no idea. So I didn't start by being a consultant. I started by being a disciple, working with facilitators. And then I slowly discovered in the process of positive change in organization, when they want to hire external help, that is usually they discover a gap between their current reality and their aspired future. Okay, so when they want to find external help, they want to move themselves from point A to point B. Okay, so this is this is where they are, and they want to move over here for whatever topic. For example, if they want to looking at the business performance globally, they want Taiwan business to grow 25%. But currently, after running January and February, they discovered they only are growing 5%. There's a great gap. So how do they, fill the gap really quickly? So this journey from point A to point B, they will seek external help. So the point A to point B, there are usually two kinds of point A or point B in positive change. One kind is point A is already good. For example, they are already market number 2 or 3. They want to become better. They want to become market number 1, for example. This is good to great gap. So sometimes you need the magic wand, how to make it happen, for them to think about provocatively. The other kind of current reality is bad, lots of problems. And then, they want to eliminate the problem to make it, not so bad, better, okay? So this kind of gap, the kind of positive change is more like problem solving. You want to solve the problem. So these two kind of gap will prompt the internal people to think about, if I only use my internal resources and it's not quick enough or not, foreseeably fulfilling the gap in time, then they will seek external help. So these are the three kinds of three roles. Sorry, I forgot to hide this one. 3 roles in catalyzed positive change: trainer, consultant, and facilitator. So let's start with the more easily understandable role, trainer. A trainer is when this group of people, they discover to move from point A to point B, they have insufficient competency, knowledge, skill, or attitude. Maybe they need to have better service attitude. They need to hire a trainer of service to train all the people who are providing service in a very short time, maybe a 1-day or 2-day workshop, and then all the store managers can provide excellent service, for example. Okay. Or maybe they need to train people project management skills, because maybe the company is running a lot of projects and all the project managers need to have the skill to run excellent projects. So they could hire people to train them for project management skills. So all kinds of training. Some trainings are more technical, some trainings are more soft skill. So it depends on what they see, the insufficient gap between point A and point B. So sometimes they approach the positive change by filling the skill gap, knowledge gap. So this is one. The other role is the consultant. The consultant role is to provide expertise in the particular domain knowledge. There is always this story about somebody in the factory their machine is breaking down, and they spend days not able to find how to fix it. So they hire a consultant of the machine. He only comes in, and then he look at the machine, and then he circle the place where it needs to be fixed, and he bill the company for $10,000. Then they say, oh, you only come in for 10 minutes, and then you circle it, and then you bill me for $10,000. Why? Well, then so he please revise your invoice. So he revised the invoice, saying circle the place. This is $1, but knowing where to circle, this 9,900. So the knowing is the value of the consultant. They come in, they have the framework, they have the expertise and the experience. In a very short time, they're saving internal people hours of and agony in finding where to fix things. He or she comes in to give you a diagnostic result, and then when you do it, problem solved, okay, or result achieved. So sometimes you do need consultant to give you clear guidance of where to go. So these kind of two roles I also play in my work. Okay, when I first get in contact with my client, I need to play the role of OD consultant, organizational development consultant, because before I provide the proposal of a facilitative event, I need to think about where this organization is at, and in this stage, what it needs. So I need to first provide the consultation, of how to help this organization proceed in its journey. So that's the consultative role that I do play. Sometimes after the facilitative event, when they are already having the consensus, then I come back to my trainer role, because there are competencies that I can share. I can teach these leaders in the front line. For example, how to have effective meetings, how to form consensus. So those are the training programs that I could provide to these people. So finally, the role as a facilitator is that when there are occasions when this group of people, their problem cannot be solved by going to a few training programs, because they are already competent. Their problem cannot be solved by an external consultant, because they are already the expertise in the industry, right? They already have the better knowledge than all the external people. Then what do they need? They need to put these minds together and produce a consensus. And then they are all willing to support, okay, to make it happen. Then the facilitator comes in to conduct group process that catalyze consensus building amongst the internal members, use their own wisdom. Okay, for example, one time I was in Taijidian, the Taiwan TSMC, and at the time I was delivering the training programs. They want to learn facilitation, and they want their internal people to be facilitators. The HR director comes in, and he gives a very inspirational opening to the training program. What he said is, in TSMC, every time we have a meeting, we have a group of people sit around, and this person has double PhD, this person triple PhD, and everyone has a lot of PhD. And when we have a meeting, what we need is not a debate. We need to help people listen to one another, to utilize your knowledge and your wisdom with your multiple PhDs, instead of in conflict, not being able to use your knowledge and wisdom. So they need internal people to have the capacity to facilitate the group process, so that people can not only advocate their expertise, but also inquire and discover the common wisdom there is and form consensus. So there are times, especially when this organization, they are already market number one. They are already a lot of competent people. You cannot just train them for better performance. And nobody, outside of this company is better than, themselves. They have the best triple, double PhD people. Then you need the facilitation skill to help them make the point A to point B journey of positive change. So these are the quick, introduction of the 3 roles. The key is sometimes these 3 roles are using similar methodologies. The way to distinguish these different roles is not the methodology they use, but the intention of different roles. Okay, the intention of the trainer is to help you increase your competencies. Maybe in training you are also using engagement skills. You also encourage people to speak up. And the aim for the trainer is to increase the competency of each individual, each trainees. Okay, so the aim is to increase the competency, knowledge, skills. And the aim for the consultant, maybe he is also asking questions, but the aim is for consultant to formulate the perfect answer for you. So it's about gathering data. He might also be asking questions, but he's gathering data to provide the best solution for the organization. Okay. For facilitators, when the question is asked, the thing is not the facilitator to get the answer. It is for the group to think together to produce the group consensus, and then to help the group to make up its mind for the next step. So the intention is different, but some of the skills are overlapping. And a lot of times when you are playing these external roles, you have multiple roles. Sometimes you need to play the pure facilitator role. Sometimes you are in this cross-section. So this is the difficult part to distinguish what hat you're wearing at the time. Okay, so this is a little bit about the 3 roles. Let me pause a little bit here. Any questions so far? Yes, Takuya-san.
I thought I had the facilitator is not consult, but generate consensus. Consensus means greatest common denominator. So I'm afraid because the board or team is filled with professionals, so they can manage the extreme thinking. That's kind of edge of the competition. But if installing the greatest common denominator, and in that case, have the risk to decrease the competitive edge of the
Yeah, it's a very good question. The word consensus in the ancient Greek is kan and sentire. Kan is meaning together. Sentire meaning feeling and thinking. Okay. So when you are helping a group to form consensus, you are helping this group of people to feel and to think together. The word feel and think is very important, because if the group cannot feel together, it tends to go into conflict. Okay. If the group cannot think together, they cannot go into a rational, logical discussion and dialogue. Okay. So the thing is, how do you put a group together that is diverse enough, that has not only the extreme opinion, but the diverse opinion? Nowadays, the most popular study around the organizational development area is to get the whole system in the room. How do you get this representative of this whole system in the room to make the decision that is more comprehensive, covering all the dimensions? So it's a very good point. If you only get the elite people or a few smart minds, okay, and you try to formulate a consensus, then to push through the system, you usually get a lot of resistance. Okay, so how do you engage people from the beginning when you are forming important strategies, when you are making important decisions? Okay, so selecting members is very important. How do you select? Then that's the first part. After you select them, then how do you help them make the good participatory decision-making process, which I will talk about in a minute, so that you use the right method at the right time. When you produce the decision, it's an enthusiastic, supported decision. Okay? I don't know whether that answers your question. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, any other question before we move on? Okay, if not, let's think a little bit more and taking Takuya-san's question. Now, how do we use facilitation and help a group to come to a consensus, and then it's in the implementation highly supported? This is a man, Dr. Sam Kenner. If you want to study more about participatory decision making, he has a great book. And then he has this model called the diamond model, explaining how a group make decision. So in the beginning, you have a new topic of decision, and from left to right, this is time. Okay, I didn't draw the time horizon, but from left to right, this is as time proceeds. Okay, when you have a new topic to discuss, you started with a group. They carefully select this group. Then you invite them for ideas. Take your schoolwork as an example. You are given a lot of assignment to have small group discussion, right? What are some of the topics that you need to discuss and decide in small group, for example, in school? Cases. Okay, you need to write case study reports, right? So you need to have 3 or 4 people sit together.